Welcome and welcome back, everybody. My name is Tia, and in today's video, we'll be taking a look at Food Chain Island. This is a game designed by Scott Almes, and it is the first game in Button Shy's Simply Solo line. I'll be doing a playthrough, and during the playthrough, we'll be going through a brief tutorial of how the base game plays, as well as 2 of the mini expansions that have been released so far. And be sure to stick around for the end if you want to hear my final thoughts about the game in general. So here is Food Chain Island set up and ready to go. Just as a reminder, we will be using the 3 mini expansions that are currently out as well, which are Friendly Waters, Tough Skies, and Lost Beasts. So the idea of the game is that we have this main island of animals, and each animal is vying to be the top of the food chain. They'll be eating each other, and hopefully at the end of the game, the most ideal outcome is to have 1 single animal card remaining. In addition to that, we have 2 marine animals that are set out at a basic difficulty. These will give us more variability when playing the game and some special powers that we can use once throughout the game. And in addition, I've added a single card for a Tough Skies expansion, which is also rated at a normal difficulty. Typically in the base game, we would have a 4x4 grid of cards laid out randomly. However, with the Lost Beast expansion, there are 4 additional predators that you can add in to create a grid of 5x4 cards. All right, so in order to play the game, we have these different predators that are trying to eat one another. In order for a predator to eat, unless the card says otherwise, they will be able to move orthogonally, so either up, down, to the left, or to the right of their current position. Animals can only eat other animals that are valued at 1, 2, or 3 less than themselves. So for example, this tiger, which is valued at a 12, can eat an 11, a 10, or a 9, provided that it's orthogonally adjacent. Anytime an animal moves, it'll activate its predator ability, which will do various things based on the cards that you use. So to start with, let's take a look and see what we have going on. We could have the polar bear eat the lion, 15 down to a 14. We have like a 13 and a 12 here as well. We want to try to eliminate as many of these cards around here as possible. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is trying to get these lower value cards out of here, since they're not anywhere near each other. That could be problematic. So let's do this. We're going to move the raccoon to eat this rat. And it says next turn, if the predator eats prey valued exactly 1 less, discard an unstacked animal. So we could do something similar with the raccoon and the dodo, just kind of clear out this side of the board a little bit. So we can discard prey valued exactly 1 less. I think we'll get rid of this plant. It is kind of near the 1, but it also has no ability and can't eat any other animals, so we'll get rid of that one. And since the raccoon ate last, it can trigger again potentially. So I'm looking for 2 animals that are within 1 of each other. Let's have our polar bear eat the lion. So that will trigger as well. I have an option of eating the ants or potentially the lizard. I think it'll be hard to get down to the ant because it would have to be a 2, a 3, or a 4, which I guess those are there. Our raccoon can eat down to a 5, which we've already done. We have a little bit of a gap there, which is not great. Let's get rid of the ant, I suppose, because it can't eat anything either now. And anytime a card refers to a stacked animal, it means a predator that's already eaten. So like this raccoon is now stacked. Important to note. So let's see, what else can we do? I think we have to get this 2, 3, 4, 6 situation sorted out, and this 3 as well. So let's see. We could use the mouse to eat the spider, which would allow us to move 1 animal 1 to 2 spaces. Let's go ahead and do that. We want to get this lizard down closer, potentially. Or the velociraptor we need to have near the tiger. Those could pull in that way. So maybe let's move the fox 1, 2 into the middle so it's not out on its own. The next thing we could do is, we could have the bat eat this I don't even know how to say that. That is Lost Beast, and I am lost for pronunciation on that. So let's have the bat eat this little Lost Beast monkey man. And after he eats, he can fly away and move to any space. So maybe we want him to eat this 4 up here. Yeah, that seems good. So he'll fly here. He'll eat the lizard. He's going on a spree. And then he'll fly over here and eat the mouse. So these are all valued 5, 4, or 3. And then he may want to move up here so that the snake can then eat him. Which will allow us to swap the location of 2 cards as well, which could be really good. So let's go ahead and do that, I suppose. Our lynx could then eat the snake if we don't swap them. Are there any cards we need to swap? Yes, I think our tiger and our fox, although that leaves the velociraptor and the smilodon down here alone. So this is the part where, for me, spatial reasoning doesn't always work out so well. For some people, it's probably clear as day. You're probably shouting like, no, don't do it, or like, but it's okay. I've resigned to the fact that, especially when I'm recording, my attention is divided. So there are things that are easy to miss. That's totally a cop-out for saying, I suck at this game. Let's see, so we can swap 2 cards if we choose to. Or no, we have to, since it's a predator ability. And let's see. I think we need to get these closer together. So I'm gonna very hesitantly place the fox and the tiger swapped. Okay. So if the lynx eats the snake, this is an interesting ability. Next turn, the predator must jump over an animal, moving 2 spaces in a straight line to eat. Oh, but we would want the raccoon to jump in instead. Well, we could do that with the gator. So maybe let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, actually the lynx can now jump and eat the fox. Oh, and it could still eat the raccoon after that as well if we so choose. That seems like a plan. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. And we can eat the raccoon as, oh, but it has to jump and eat. That's right. So we don't have many options. The gator can eat the tiger. Next turn, instead of moving the predator over the prey, slide the prey under the predator. That's pretty interesting because our lynx could go on the raccoon or the raccoon could go under. We could do a bunch of different things there. So I think we're gonna have the raccoon slide under this lynx here. And this would be a good time to activate the owl because, again, in order to win the game, if you have any bird cards, you do have to activate them once each. So we're going to shuffle a stack of 3 or more animals, which we have here as per our links. Randomly draw 1, place it in the same space, and discard the rest. So this will give us a little bit of randomness, but hopefully it won't be one of the really low cards. If it is, we've saved our octopus, our friendly little guy here with his bubbles, that we can get rid of them. But ideally, we would be able to use that on a different card. Okay. Hey, we have our raccoon. Okay, is that... The wolf could eat the raccoon if we get him over there. Let's see. Move an animal 1 space to eat, but it can also eat prey valued 1 or 2 more than itself. So the velociraptor is kind of problematic because it can't eat any of the cards that are out here. It would have to be eaten by the gator. The smilodon eats only if unstacked, but eats any odd numbered prey. So we could move the smilodon in to eat the velociraptor as well, but then it can't eat again because it would be stacked. Let's see. Can we make this work? I think the gator needs to eat the wolf. The wolf needs to eat the raccoon, ideally. Let's see. Instead of moving the predator over the prey, slide the prey under the predator. So what we will do is have the smilodon eat the velociraptor. Then we're going to go ahead and have the polar bear eat the gator. Oh, we need to do that opposite, I think. The polar bear is going to eat the gator. Next turn, the polar bear cannot eat. We could discard this raccoon then instead, which means the wolf would be left. The velociraptor can also eat more than itself. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and discard an unstacked animal, which I think will discard this raccoon since none of the other cards other than the wolf can interact with it, but we can't really get him out there. And then the polar bear, so we'll discard our octopus. And it does activate the ability, but since there are no cards that are one away from each other, that doesn't help us quite as much as it should. So I think our Smilodon will eat the Velociraptor. Eats only a fun snack, but eats any odd number prey. And then we're at a crossroads because the polar bear can only eat a 14, 13, or 12. If it were closer to the Smilodon, it could eat it if we activate our Plesiosaurus. Unfortunately, that's not the case though. So this is kind of where we end up. One of the things I really love about the rulebook is that at the end, there is a scoring for winning the game. So if you have one animal left, you are an ecosystem expert. This is my favorite. If you have 2 animals left, you are an accidental matchmaker, which just really tickles me. 3 animals left, we are the island intern. So I guess we're still just an intern, but we'll definitely have to see how we fare in future games. So that is a solo playthrough of Food Chain Island. When Button Shy first announced that they were going to be coming out with a Simply Solo line, I was really excited. I'm a big fan of their work in putting out smaller games that are more accessible to more people, both in price point and just in investment, time to read the rules, time to teach, etc., etc. So when they announced that Scott Almes was designing it, I was extra excited. I know that there are a lot of designers who are very involved in the industry, Scott Almes being one of them, and there are, you know, always opposing sides, but I think when you put out as many games as someone like Scott Almes does, there are definitely going to be some hits. There may be some misses as well, but his hits for me really hit home. I think there are a lot of interesting mechanics, so I was excited to see what he would do with a micro game. This particular game did not disappoint. It plays off of that old idea of the solitaire peg game where you're trying to, you know, decrease and be left with as few pegs as possible. But I think the addition of the theme really helped to amp that up and give it some more replayability. It can tend to feel abstract in the mechanics, but if you're really invested in theme and paying attention, the animals do move in ways that emulate the way that they may hunt or the way that they may be mobile in the wild. So I thought that was a really interesting twist. I also like the addition of the marine animals, and if you get some of the expansions, the birds and the lost beasts, I think it just adds even more replayability to a game that already has so much for such a small package. So if you are looking for a micro game to help fill in that transition time during your day, whether it's at breakfast or at lunch or after work or, you know, whatever, if you're like me in that regard and you just want to get as much gaming in as possible, I would really recommend checking out Food Chain Island and considering adding it to your collection. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me and checking out Food Chain Island. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video for more board game content. And let me know if there are any other games that you would like me to check out and potentially do videos on in the future. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.